Joining me now on the News at 10 to talk about the recent safety issues and is occupational health and safety advocate Jamiu Badmus. You're welcome to the News at 10.
It's my pleasure.
I guess we should begin with the Calabar incident. Very unfortunate that 10 people were killed in it. We've seen this happen time and again. People risking their lives going to scoop fuel because of... it baffles me the reasons why they do that. But in this case, whose fault was it that the spill occurred and the fire, you know?
As an health and safety professional, we don't usually talk about which we blame. We look at the facts and see how we can get the root cause and, you know, kill it from the root cause, have a corrective action from the root cause. The first thing is what led to the fuel coming out, is tank being overfilled. And the question we ask ourselves is, are there not installations in place to guide against overfilling of tank? Because there's always a protection system to prevent tank overfill in any tank farm in line with API 2350. Because incidents of this nature, it has been happening. One street fire in December 11, 2005 in UK is there. We have a lot of lesson learned from there. So what it means is that if there's an overfilling of the tank, there's an issue with the tank farm. Maybe they are operating the tank farm in the manual way and not in the systematic way to do tank farm in line with process safety guidelines. Then if that is the case, are we saying again that is there anything called process failure? Yes, that's a process failure. Because there's no process failure, we won't have a tank being filled to the extent that it now goes straight to the channel. Normally, if a tank is overfilled that way, the reason what you do is there's a construction called a dike or a bond wall that is constructed around the tank farm. It will stay there. Now, it didn't stay there, maybe the bond wall has openings and it goes straight to the channel. And our people, poverty, they need to, you know, come close to take fuel.
Well, they're the unfortunate ones who were around the area. But should there be some education, you know, so some sensitization going into informing people, you know, where you see, you know, a tanker, don't go close, whether it's empty or whether it's full, and especially when, you know, the fuel is being transported from the tanker into, you know, the tank farm.
That's very correct. The NEFSA Act 63, 1992, that allows us to have investment in all these free trade zones. The NEFSA, as an authority, needs to engage people in those communities. It's very important. It's not all about we making money. The people around that area, they need to understand the impact or the effect of, you know, oil in that area. It's important we do business, but we do business without integrating the health and safety aspect of the business to it. It turns into a problem. In Nigeria, what we notice is that we are more reactive than being proactive. It is when there are incidents that we now start moving up and we start thinking, what should we do? As a matter of fact, as NEFSA is there, DPR is there, all these regulators supposed to have engaged the community in case, what if scenario. We need to have a communication with them, public sensitization. They are very important because I'm 100% sure is one, lack of education, two, poverty. That when I scoop the fuel, not forgetting that for fire to happen, there must be an igniter. Yeah. Those buckets they use, we ignite, and the oxygen is there, and the fuel, PMS, is very flammable. Exactly.
All the conditions were just right for that fire to have occurred. Okay. Well, looking at the Lagos flood now, heavy downfall. We've seen the pictures in the report there by my colleague Chris Salems. Communities are still suffering 1 week after the waters have not dissipated. They're still there. Homes are still flooded and so on. You can blame as many people as you want. You can blame the government, you can blame the people. But at the end of the day, what really can be done to prevent this from happening? I mean, we had enough warning that we're going to have more floods this year, more rainfall this year. So at the end of the day, what are we supposed to do?
Yeah, just as I've said, let's not trade blames. Let's look at the root cause. People build on floodplain. People don't have drainage systems. Government don't build drainage systems. Government give them the land to build on it. You can't blame anybody here. So what can we do? We have seen that we are on the floodplains and it's now affecting us. Can we design and develop a drainage system? Bring in some engineering experts. Design a drainage system for Lekki so that in case there is any water flow, it pass through drainage.
Are you trying to say there's no drainage system for Lekki right now?
They have, but the drainage system is not enough for the capacity of water they are seeing, number one. Number two, people dump refuse in drainages. We need a lot of enlightenment to people. People on the road buy sort of things. You buy water, you buy gala, you buy everything, you throw on the floor. We need to create a lot of awareness that what you do to the environment comes back to affect you at the end of the day.
Okay, so well, we've talked about and then let's talk about the fire disasters. I mean, this is rainy season and yet we're having fires. Looking at the one that happened in Ibadan today, 35 shops burnt and so on. How do we prevent these fires, and how do we make sure that we're not being reactionary every time something happens? How do we prevent them from even happening, before they happen, and avoid this sort of loss, because people's livelihoods have gone down the drain?
Just as we have said before, the government needs to engage a lot of health and safety professionals to go to markets, to go to places, NGOs, to talk to people. Like the Ibadan fire, they have a lot of agricultural products being kept, and these products, some of them are flammable. And just something to trigger them, then fire will start. So we need a lot of public sensitization. The Institute of Safety Professionals of Nigeria needs to come out now to assist the communities, to assist the country in channeling a lot of safety issues and resolving them. And with that, government needs to engage these safety professionals of Nigeria, and from there we can have a lot of awareness and enforcement. One of the problems we have in the country is when you create awareness, you have the law, we need enforcement. People need to be enforced. And
the key word there is awareness and enforcement. Thank you so much, Jamiu Badmus, for being on the news at 10.